Good evening, everyone. T-Speaker222 XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XLM and Future Digibyte OG. So, guys, I'm going to do an update on a coin that I've just added. I didn't know anybody was interested in the Phantom coin. I've been doing some research on it the last few weeks, and somebody messaged me about it. So I said, you know what? As long as you guys in my audience, if you guys are adding coins, like I said, when I first started doing this, I only covered XRP, XLM, DGB. At first it was XRP, then I expanded it on my own to a few other ones. But all these are user generated that I have over time come to know, come to love, and come to get some good word about. And then I went on and did my own research. So, but FTM, which is the Phantom coin, the Phantom token. So I have a few people who are interested in this that I was not aware about. But look at these crashing zones we're in. So I'm going to draw this out for you guys just like I have for the other ones. And I want to do this one. I wanted you guys to get familiar with the Phantom token. It's one that could be a player down the road. We just have a lot to do before we can get to there. It's got some utility and such. So for what it does, it's not exactly the same as the rest. So if I was doing this, we could start... Nah, that's too far. We could do something like that. But we want to get like something like that, where we're getting a more recent trend. So we can kind of see, because this is a hard one, because it's been crashing so hard. If you take a look back at this, and it's kind of stunning. It's just like the rest, though. It had a nice, and you know, it hasn't been around all that long, guys. So I can't really go back as far. But you look into June. This isn't one that I personally would have on my list. I'm just saying this is one that could be around in the future. But this is not one that I'm like, oh my God, you have to go out and get this coin or token, because I don't know enough about it. But I also don't see, if it's not on the iOS or the ISO, I'm not exactly sure. Unless it has stabilized networks. But this is a token, so I mean, it is what it is. I cover a lot of them that I don't personally hold stake in. So I could see it going through this channel, but we're going to have to see, guys. Is it going to ride through this? Because this is suggesting that we could have some kind of down pull. So if it trades down, that's what some of these are starting to suggest. So I would say if it comes down to like the bottom of the channel, you're looking at 17 cents. But there's always the chance that if Bitcoin rolls under, I've got some dots around here, but I think 12 cents is in play if Bitcoin, and I know that's a big drop. But if Bitcoin were to somehow go sub 30, like if Bitcoin goes to 30, I think your area would be around right here, and then it would bounce. And then you'd probably finish off a extended cup and handle, like I keep saying. I think these are extended cup and handles. And then eventually you'd pour right out the top. I think you'd have a two-step layer. You could either go up to there or even higher. So it would be a significant gain. So that's what I'm seeing with this. I'm going to do more on the old Phantom coin, I believe. I was looking, yeah, the Phantom. But it's the token, but it's also proof of stake. So that's why I was looking into it. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting one. Got to be very careful with it, but that's what I think's going on here. Once we find bottom, we're going to have some nice cup and handles we finish off. And then while I'm on, I want to cover Solana real quick. Solano's doing the same open mouth like I keep talking about. They just seem to be smaller versions of themselves. Could we definitely do something like that? We could. But Solano, to me, has a very, very distinct trend line, and it's trying to kind of upset the trend line. I mean, it's been a pretty, that's what I'm saying, it's been a pretty ascending, for the most part, not ascending, but it's been a pretty steady. You know, you could do something like that and say it's been a pretty steady line. I prefer to do, I'm a perfectionist. I prefer to do something like that. And then if you really wanted to, let me get this out of the middle so that I can clear that out. If you really wanted to do something from the top to try to see where a point could be, because the whole point of these trend lines is to see where we could get a meeting point. Nope, we didn't go up high enough. So we try to do something like that, and then we can see where our trading areas are. And as you can see, guys, it did nothing more than trade in between this zone. So if we go again, it might bounce up, bounce around, but then it gets smaller. You see how it's getting smaller? So Solano looks to have a date with about $26. I mean, right around where it's at in this trading area. It really does. It looks like it's trading within this range, and then by the time it gets to the end of it, it's going to have to make a decision, and we're getting awfully close to all of these guys. That's the thing. We're getting awfully close on all these patterns to where these are going to have to make a decision, and is it going to bounce up, or is it going to bounce down, or is it going to swing up? It's all going to depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to 30,000, this is swinging down, and you might get a pullback to like 21 bucks or 20 bucks. If Bitcoin decides to move up, you could have a bounce right off 26.20 and have a nice gain. That's what we're going to have to watch for, and we're going to do that very closely. And then we're going to end with one that I haven't covered in a while. Quant. Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing covers this one quite a bit. I haven't covered it since we started rounding the top because I told you guys. Well, I mean, I cover it in every installment, as you can see. But the last one, we were way up here, and I told you guys stay far away from this because we rounded the top, and what happened? So now, Quant's got a very clear pattern that it's drawing out for us, guys. It really does. And if you go way out, you can go all the way back, guys, to way over there. And Quant's been in the same slightly ascending, it's slightly ascending support. But then if you do it in the same time period, guys, it's got a really descending top that it is. Here, let's pull this out because we're going to try to see where it meets. I don't like that. I'm going to redo this so you guys can see what I'm trying to see. But we're going to see where this meets because this has been a pretty parallel. It did fall below it once. That's an ascending support. I mean, look at that. That's that's clear as day that you got an ascending support line. But at the same time, while you've got this ascending support, out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but if you're just not paying attention, you've got a descending, pretty rapidly descending resistance line that by the end of this, as you can see, guys, once again, well, Tom, how could we have such a big trading range? Come up, you got all the way up there you can go to. You come back down, go back up, come back down, go back up, come back down. But notice how it gets smaller as we come through. So that's how you get those, guys. So the most likely thing with Quant is you could come up to like 80, 82 maybe. Or you're going to trade down to the bottom of the zone, 63. I could see you going down to like 63 and popping up to 82 and making it look like some kind of a move. So be very careful with Quant. We've got to see what Bitcoin does. This all depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin shoots up, well, you know we're taking a little bit of a ride first. But if Bitcoin goes down as we suspect that it might hit 30,000, these are the scenarios with Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin has to come down to around 30,200, which isn't that far from here. But if it could propel itself to a drop like that, guys, this could be something special. And if Doge comes right back down like I think it will, because it's trading within that channel, it's going to be something special. It really is. It'll be something special. So T-Speaker 222 XRP Future Millionaire at the side bet on XLM and Future Digibite OG. This was a Quant. The introduction to the Phantom token. And we also covered Solana. So stay true, stay blessed.